We have started reading an essay written by Bhagat Singh. The title of the essay is To Youth. Today we'll continue the remaining part. In this essay, Bhagat Singh motivates young people to participate in freedom struggle of India. He tests all those capacities, energies, and strengths of young people. According to him, that person who is of 16 to 25 years is called as young person or young uh, that youth of the nation, and this youth has that uncontrollable strength which can be utilized for the sake of getting that freedom from britishers. So in this essay he tries to attract young people's attention towards this problem. He compares young person with so many things which are sources of energy, and these things are very strong things in nature. Here he says that young person is as obstinate as the soaring waves of ocean. So in this line we can find waves of the ocean. So he says young person is adamant or it cannot be changed as that wave of the ocean, which is soaring wave. Soaring means that is towering wave going upward, so we cannot control waves of the ocean, and author compares young person with this wave, or all means that capacity is like wave. So he is as dreadful as the first war cry in the Bhishma chapter of the Mahabharata. See, we can know about that author's brilliance. Sardar Bhagat Singh was of 18 years age when he wrote this essay. And after reading this essay, we can realize that he has tremendous knowledge about all Indian ethics, epics, and culture, and all other characters in various mythologies, Indian mythologies in religion. So in this way he is a knowledgeable person. We can see he compares young person, youth, with that first war cry in that Bhishma chapter of Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata you have this character Bhishma, and he is that famous for his decision, and his oath, especially Bhishma's oath. And from this chapter we can know about this brave person Bhishma, and he ruled every chapter which we can find in this Mahabharata. Especially he is called as Pitamaha, and due to his that energy only we have, you can see all that Mahabharata is there. So young person again, that author compares with, see in the next line, the remaining part of the sentence, as ardent as the rich kiss of a first union. We can see that there is no that connectivity between two examples, or that similarity between two. Once you find that author is telling about Mahabharata, and very in the next part of the sentence we find he compares this young person with something very different from that previous part of the sentence. So what is that? He says that a young person is like that first kiss of that lover when there is the first union, first intercourse between lover and beloved. So it's very different than the that first part of the sentence, that youth is as dreadful as the first cry in the Bhishma chapter of Mahabharata. So it's okay. In the remaining part C of the sentence, as fearless as Ravana's arrogance. So author compares young person with that Ravana's arrogance and fearlessness. So how Ravana was arrogant and very fearless character, we know that in Ramayana. So he is compared with Ravana also. Is characteristics. Ravana's characteristics are like a young person's characteristics according to author, as steadfast and unflinching as Prahlada Satyagraha. So Prahlada, he is famous in Indian mythology, and in that we find that Prahlada uh, was calling God's name, Vishnu's name, and his father didn't want, like, means he hated that God. So even then, Prahlada means not stopped, did not stop taking the name of God. So he was like, he's a Satyagraha, is famous in history. So young person is like Prahlada. If you desire a brave man willing to sacrifice himself, ask the youth. See, author says that this young person is brave one. If you want some brave person to do some task where that sacrifice is needed, ask such young person. He can come forward and help you. It is to his share that the lusciousness of life has fallen. So, of course, if you have the capacity of youths, you can see that the, it means his share that the lusciousness of life is fallen, and he holds a sway over emotions. So a young person holds that sway. Sway means to influence somebody over the emotions. He has that means control, influence on emotions. So despite being ignorant of poetics, he is a gifted poet. See, he has capacity. He means who? Young person has capacity to write poems also, though he doesn't know poetics. What poetics means? Poetics is the science of writing poems or literature. And though that young person doesn't have knowledge of this poetics, he can write poems. He is gifted poet. The poet too is the honeybee hovering over the secrets of his heart. And we know that when we read so many poems, we find that the poet is also writing about that young person's heart, because according to the poet, there are so many secrets in the heart of a young person, and due to that only this poet is like honeybee going towards that young person, considering it as a means that flower or very attractive person having so many secrets in his heart. So who is here? Honeybee. Honeybee is poet. And where does this poet go? This poet goes towards young person. Why? Because he wants to get so many secrets from his heart to write poems. So he doesn't know the definition of rasas. So this young person doesn't know the definition of the rasas. Rasa means this is the theory to create poems or literature, and in that way this person who young person, though he doesn't know rasas, but he has truly insightful understanding of it, but he has that god gift. He can understand all rasas. So here you can say he has the person who has knowledge of writing poetry, creating poetry also very naturally. So though he doesn't know anything, he can write everything. So this is how capacity of young person is here presented before us by Bhagat Singh. He doesn't know the definition of the rasas, but he has truly insightful understanding of it. The youth is a spatial problem of creation. So if you want to study any issue, especially you have this young person as that one issue before you which can be studied, and this is presented by God actually. He is an excellent example of the glory of God's creation. So young person is very good example, excellent example of God's creation, creativity, glory of God's creation. So if you want to see a beautiful creation by God, go and see a young fellow, a very young fellow there you find and the person is the best creation of all. He can sit for hours by the banks of a river at sunset. So here we can say that this person always is attracted towards beauty of the nature. Young person, if you observe that young person, you may find that he is sitting so many hours besides that bank of the river, and he can enjoy the scene. He can go on gazing enchanted at the sun journeying with its crimson rays towards the horizon. So we can find that young person can enjoy nature's beauty also, gazing, staring, looking constantly, enchanted, attracted towards the magic, especially very absorbed due to that. And a sun journey going from east to west with its crimson rays. And crimson means red, dark red color rays. When sun travels from the east to west direction, we can see that there are rays of sun which are dark red in color towards the horizon. So this is how this natural beauty is also depicted by the author. In this way we can see the variety of examples given by author. So many adjectives are there, so many comparisons are there, that we find very ornamental language is there, metaphors are there, figures of speech we can find in that way. In tremendous use of these things is there. He becomes immersed means attracted, totally very absorbed in the situation, in the soft melody. Who young person easily can be attracted towards the music wafting across from the beyond, coming from other direction. Strange is his life. So such is that you say magical life that young person he lives. Very marvelous life. Marvelous is his courage, and he has that courage also. So bravery also. So he has unfailing is his enthusiasm. So he has the enthusiasm in that way. उत्साह जो म्हणतो आपण. So in this way he is that very very strange piece or strange creation of God. So let's stop here. In this we have so many comparisons, and if you study in detail you get new words which you can include into your vocabulary to enrich it. So let's stop